festival experience.
When the sun goes down and the clock strikes 12, it's prime time for Midnight Madness.
It's 11:45. I just got a strange feeling. Midnight madness.
It's Midnight Madness. Midnight Madness. Yeah.
Got this midnight madness. Caught in the middle of midnight madness.
You got the midnight madness. You're gonna get it, the midnight madness. You're gonna get it, the midnight madness. You're gonna get it, the midnight madness. You're gonna get it.
And now the Midnight Madness Show, where it's always sunny and 82 degrees. Here's your host, the DJ Doctor.
Good morning. Sunny, 82 degrees, like the big man with the big voice says. Actually, it's totally dark out, and I think it's in the mid-70s. So, welcome to another Midnight Madness Show live from Manchester, Tennessee. Hi, Mark the DJ Doctor with the one and the only, the man with a plan right to the next to me. Nice shirt, by the way. The Hillbilly Heartthrob.
Howdy.
Howdy.
You know, it's wonderful there's only one of me. Can you imagine more than one of me?
I saw Twilight Zone when that could have been reality with you, but
Oh, thank you.
there was a whole bunch of guys that were all the same guy, all following this one dude around. So it's kind of like the Midnight Madness Show.
Right.
Well, it kind of is. So we got Jason off to the right. We got Velvet Presley and Miss Rebecca. How you doing, Rebecca?
I am doing wonderful, and I want to say hi to Rachel Traxler. She just joined us.
Okay.
Rachel.
Hey, Rachel, thanks for tuning into the show. We got quite a few people tuning in, jumping in early tonight. They must know we got an all-star lineup tonight.
Rachel's from Camden, so she's stuck, used to hang out with me years ago.
Well, there's her problem. I think she just found out we got an all-star cast tonight, so it's going to be a good show,
Right.
regardless of whatever you and I do about it.
Right.
It's going to be a good show. We can't damage this show tonight, no matter how hard you try.
Me?
Yes.
I am an angel sent from heaven above.
Yep. Sounds like a song. And down in Command Central, NASA from Pulaski, the one and only Brian, the IT guru. How you doing, Brian?
I'm good, but about the damaging show part, I think about 20 minutes ago that had been a different story.
Oh, I know. And we're off air doing some cuts and stuff. And,
That you think. You are.
Yeah. And well, hopefully a lot of it won't make it to our scrap show or our real Midnight Madness show where we're after midnight and we say what we want to say. We'll put the kiddies to bed. So we'll probably see some of that air, hear some of that aired then. But we kind of let our hair down.
Show in December.
Well, yeah, we got to do one in December. We got to do one, New Year's Eve or something. Not New Year's Eve. We're playing that night, but
Right.
next 24-hour show.
Right.
We got to do one on a 24-hour show. So, but tonight we got two great artists.
Yes, we do.
Both of them have been on the Nashville Nights show. We kind of weaned them. Now they're into the hardcore part of the show. They're on to the Midnight Madness show.
Right.
And Philip's got a lot of stuff to say. So why don't you introduce our guests? Let's get into the meat of the potatoes of this thing.
Oh, we will definitely do that.
Okay.
Sitting across from me, if you guys like Alabama, you're going to love this gentleman.
Yeah, because he is Alabama.
Right.
That's all he is Alabama.
Right. I
So-
think he's grateful to Alabama, anyhow.
Yeah.
No, they're grateful for him.
There you go. That's
See,
it.
we're not talking a
tell 'em,
football
Mark.
team. We're talking the music, the band.
We have a great songwriter, artist by the name of Philip Wolf.
Mr. Philip Wolf. How you doing, Philip?
I'm doing good.
See, we got Philip Wolf with the last name Wolf on our Halloween era shows, because like I say, tonight's not a full moon, so we could have Philip on our show. We couldn't have him last week, could we, Philip?
No,
You were busy.
I was busy.
He was terrorizing the
full
streets of
moon,
London. The little old lady got
Episode
mutilated
of
late last night.
lycanthropy.
Yeah. So, Philip, it's been a while. How you been doing?
Been doing good.
Last time we saw you, I think you were over at the Last Chance Saloon with Randy's show.
I think so. Yeah, that would have been a while back.
It's been a while, so we're going to try to get.
Well, Jason said it's been almost exactly a year.
Yes, it was a year this week that he was here last.
Wow.
On our show.
So he's got a lot to talk about. What we're going to do, Philip, and we're going to, first of all, we want to thank Chris from HeatFMRadio.com. This is kind of our segue. Chris's people have been tuned in, listening to our radio show, so we're being live from another internet radio program from New York. So a lot of new listeners from there. And then this show has just busted through the seams. We have broken loose, and we want to thank all the listeners out there. I don't know why you're listening to us, but thank God you are.
Oh, and congratulations on your syndication, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. We got a lot of great listeners that get involved in the show, and we just have a blast with it. So we're going to kind of maybe get redundant, ask you a few same questions that Randy did, because with all the new people out there, we want people to know where you came from and some of your past. We're not Nashville. We want to know actually more about you. Okay. So Philip, why don't you go ahead and start us off with a song,
okay,
and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the questioning for you.
All right, this is a song I wrote with a friend of mine, Carlton Collins, who had a record deal several thousand years ago. Great singer, great personality, good ideas, but it's called Chillin'. So. At 90 degrees in the Georgia shade. Ain't never seen such a sizzling hot day. Not one cloud floating up in the sky. If we don't get some rain, we're all gonna die. The sweat dripping down the end of my nose, drenching my skin, it's soaking my clothes. But I'm chillin', chillin'. Here come Rosie, walking real slow. She ain't in no hurry, got no place to go. Red hot pepper in the afternoon sun, looking for a cool place to have a little fun. She plops down in the front porch swing, said, man, it's too hot to do anything except chillin'. Oh, chillin'. I'm chillin' on a lazy summer day. I'm chillin', got it made in the shade. Chillin', chillin'. We head in the house for a cold glass of tea. Open up the window, try to catch a little breeze. She leans over, turns on the radio. I'm just kicking back, going with the flow. There ain't no telling where this might lead. The sun's going down, it's just Rosie and me. Chillin', chillin'. I'm chillin' on a lazy summer day. I'm chillin', got it made in the shade. Chillin', chillin', chillin' with Rosie on a lazy summer day. Chillin' with a Rosie, chillin' while the fireflies play. Chillin'.
Great way to start the show. So we got a couple more listeners. Let's shout out to Amanda Cuff and Johnny Counterfeit. Well, only Johnny Counterfeit's listening to us. So.
The Johnny Counterfeit?
The Johnny Counterfeit.
Well, that's great. We need to get Johnny back on the show.
Yes, we do. Yes,
Especially
we do.
since we kind of launched his career.
Yes, we
He
did.
did that whole White House thing, and that kind of got him nowhere. But when he got on our show, we launched him.
That's what it was. It was us.
Johnny will never be on our show again because of that. So, Johnny, we love you. He's got a lot of stuff. It was one of the greatest entertainers that we've had on the show. He's been phenomenal. We got to get him back. He was on when we had Miss Patsy Trigg one time for one of our Christmas shows. So, Johnny, free up your schedule. We'd like to get you back down here in person and have you perform for us. Find out what's been going on. It's been at least 2 years, maybe 3, since the last time we saw Johnny. Maybe 4?
Maybe 4. I think it's been 4 years since I had Johnny.
Johnny, you're avoiding us. We're not that bad. So we got to get Johnny on. So, Johnny, thanks for listening. We wish you the best. So we're here with Mr. Philip Wolf. So, Philip,
Yes, sir.
What's new and exciting? Well,
New and exciting. Well, not life in general. you
Okay.
know. Life goes on. I have my own studio, and I stay busy with that.
now where's that at?
In Hermitage.
In Hermitage?
Well, in the Nashville area.
Okay, yeah.
And I've been doing some fun stuff there. I did a project last fall that was a gospel/jazz record. And
Wow.
it was the most fun I've had in years and years.
Now, are you doing other people coming
yeah,
and
yeah,
recording and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
So, okay, so it's not just your own
No.
private studio. It's
Yeah.
open to the public. What's the name? Or how did they get to find out?
Well, it was through a community of people that I know.
Okay.
One guy talks to another guy, a third guy, a fourth guy.
Right.
And this was a guy that had been working for the bus company in Nashville for 27 years.
Wow.
Always wanted to record an album. He came in, and the songs were great. They were simple. They were easy to remember. Great melodies, great hooks,
Yeah.
and it was a family affair. His son was a piano player. His daughter sang a lot of the backup stuff, but we had a horn section and choir and all. Just
What's the name of the artist? Can you say the name of the artist?
James Dunn.
James Dunn?
James Dunn, and the album is Purpose Comes Around.
Okay, and how can we get that album?
You can get it on Amazon or any of the normal internet vendors.
Outstanding. Now,
Yeah,
where are you from originally? Where
Virginia.
Virginia. Okay. I had you out on the East Coast, but I thought you were in the Boston area. So you're Virginia area. So did you come from Virginia straight to Nashville area, or did you?
No, being a musician, of course,
Right.
For 15, 20 years, I didn't even have a residence. 'Cause I was playing hotels and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And at some point, I moved to Florida. I lived down there for a little over 10 years before I moved to Nashville. I lived in the Sarasota area. Well, I lived in Sarasota.
Right.
And when I got, when I had my first little bit of luck, I said, "Oh, I should move to Nashville." And it was the best thing I ever did. I've lived in Nashville now longer than I've lived anywhere my entire life,
Okay.
and it's the perfect place for me in a lot of ways. It has the big city stuff if you want it, but where I am, it's fairly small town feel to Hermitage, except for the traffic. And
it's central. You can go anywhere.
well, you
from-
can go
from Nashville.
anywhere, and
I mean, Atlanta 4 hours, and
Right.
Louisville 4
Yeah.
hours, Knoxville 4 hours. I mean, you can go anywhere within 4 or 5 hours and be in another big musical.
right. But
musical city.
especially with the studio,
Yeah.
having the pool of musicians that I have access to.
Yep.
I mean, it's my dream come true. And I only have to use the guys I like.
That makes
Which is
it
why
nice.
he never calls us.
Hey, I called you back. That counts.
He called back. No, I don't want you on my album, but I'll come to
it's
your
not like
show
it.
and promote it.
I didn't want to be pushy.
Right.
So, what got you into the music thing? Did you?
In general?
Yeah, was it family? Were mom, dad involved in music?
It was probably with the Beatles and stuff like
Okay.
that. When back in the '60s, and I started playing guitar with a friend of mine, and just kept it up, and at some point I realized you could actually make a living doing this.
Right.
And you know, that's something that most people never get a chance to do, which is make a living doing something that they are really passionate about.
Right.
And when you can do that, you know, it's like the man said, you know, you don't work a day in your life when you're doing something you love.
Yep. I heard Buddy Rich on a Johnny Carson show many, many moons ago.
You're going to clean it up for radio, right?
Yeah. Those of you who don't know Buddy, he was a rough character, considered the greatest drummer that's ever walked the face of the earth, and I don't see anyone ever.
You could ask him, and he'd tell you that.
And he'd tell you, I am the best that's ever lived. But you know, and he could back it up. You know,
Right.
he was like Muhammad Ali in his prime. I'll knock you out in the fourth round and just do it. Buddy was an amazing drummer, but Johnny Carson was talking to him about drumming as a job, and he goes, "It's not a job to me. This is fun. It's fun, and I get paid to do it."
Yeah.
It's his whole life passion. Now, he was more of that mentalist with drumming that went beyond physical. There's very few of them out there, the Neil Pearts of the world. Yeah, on the same plane as like Michael Jordan is to basketball.
Right.
Bruce Lee was to kung fu. Matter of fact, that's who Buddy Rich's idol was Bruce Lee.
Yeah, well, because Buddy did martial arts.
Yeah, and he said, you know, you go mentally into it as well as physically into it. It's something he took serious. It wasn't just a hobby. So He goes, it's not a job. I have fun doing it, and I get paid doing it. And, you know, he's one of the rare breeds that you can put on that pedestal and go, there's really no one you can compare to him.
Yeah.
I think it's something that, like you say, you can get paid to do it. You saw, how many states have you seen in the United States?
25, 30.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't traveled as extensively as
more
you know,
than
my
half.
buddies that, you know, that did the whole road artist thing.
Yeah. But you still got all your hair, and you're not as gray as they are either,
That's
too.
right, exactly.
Yeah, that's not an easy job. No, Jason, I'm not making a thing at Jason. Jason, you know, wears a hat for a reason. But so, well, it's a joke. We cut on Jason. I'm just saying that the road life is a tough life, and those guys that have been on it for years and years and years, that people just don't
you
realize.
have to learn how to do that without killing yourself in the process.
Right, or each other.
Yeah, or each other. You know, I always thought that if they were going to send a manned mission to Mars, what they ought to do is get 6 guys off a tour bus.
Yeah.
Because those are guys that won't kill each other.
Right.
You know, a year in tight quarters.
Yeah, well, it's ruined a lot of big bands. I mean, Journey went through issues like that where Steve Perry drove his own vehicle, wouldn't ride with the bus. There's a lot of them like that.
There, you know, I mean, you any band that's been around, you know, any famous band that's been around for more than 30 or 40 years, you know, nobody's on the same bus anymore.
No. Yeah, of course. They get that kind of money, they can rent all the pre-ghost buses they want. You know,
you look at Mick Jagger,
Yeah.
Keith Richard, and then you look at Joe Perry, Steven Tyler.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, at some point you've just had enough of each other.
Right.
But you can still go out on stage and be brothers there. And you know, that's because this is something that transcends everything else.
Right. Right.
Now, Philip, you've had some success in the business. What year did you have your first cut?
My first cut was in, I believe it was 1995 or 1996. And at the time, I was playing in a band out of Sarasota, and the bass player had done some work producing a TV show for Jeff Cook. And so we ended up backing Jeff up on some shows because he would go out and do things on his own. And he took a liking to some of my songs and ended up cutting one. And, you know, that was, you know, and I remember coming to Nashville to you know, talk to a lawyer and do the publishing and all that. And the lawyer said, "How did this even happen?" You know, because, and there was some resentment about it because I hadn't gone through the Nashville process where I come up, beat my head against a wall, you know, and, you know, write 50 bad songs for every good one. So, you know, that, but I lucked into it as much as anything else.
But you put yourself in a position to do that.
Well, I did. I tried to write, the songs that I thought would specifically would work for the band that I was with, and because we were trying to get a record deal and all that stuff, and it never really happened. And
did the band resent you because you got a cut? Did
in
that
a way, yeah.
ruffle some feathers?
Yeah, but that's okay, because it kind of worked both ways. It gave the band a little bit of notoriety,
right?
And that was all good, and I'm still friends with all those guys.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Why don't we go ahead and put on another song, and then we'll get into some more questions.
Okay. All right. This is a song about a guy that used to cut grass in my neighborhood in Sarasota. And he would drive around, and he always wore a pith helmet.
Huh.
Nobody really knew much about him. And so, anyway, this is my take on that. They found Mr. Parker still on his tractor underneath a shady tree. And if he could have chosen the way that he'd go, that's probably how it would be. He was 73, but he could have been 50. Could have been 104, and it won't be the same in our neighborhood now that he's not around anymore. Oh, Mr. Parker, ride that red tractor right by my house twice a day. Sometimes he'd stop, we'd sit there and talk, and just whittle the hours away. And he'd talk about sweet corn, fishing and baseball, and how much he still missed his wife. But he never complained about anything else that he missed in his life, because he knew all the children and all of the old folks. He'd always find a minute to spare just to say hello, talk about the weather. These days that's pretty rare. The way we rush and we rush and we hurry so much that we never see the flowers that grow. And he lived life at the speed of that farm-all tractor, steady and slow. It gets so quiet out here around sunset that I can still close my eyes. And if I listen long enough, I can still hear him drive by. And I found that my place in this endless race isn't always at the front of the line. And if I can slow down and enjoy the ride, I can live with that just fine. Get to know all the children and all of the old folks, and always just find a minute to spare, just to say hello and talk about the weather. These days that's pretty rare. The way we rush and we rush and we hurry so much, we'll never see the flowers that grow. And I'll live life at the speed that formal tractor, steady and slow. And I'll live life at the speed of that formal tractor, steady and slow. Thank you.
Mr. Philip Wolf, everybody. So you're in a band, you're in Sarasota, Florida, you're one of your players has a connection with Jeff Cook. Mm-hmm. That leads to a cut. What was the...
Well, just in case some people don't know who Jeff Cook is, maybe we should...
one of the founding members of Alabama.
Yeah, the guitar player and fiddle player.
Yeah. You know,
sang the high parts.
Yeah, he's phenomenal talent, A lot of the women just know Randy. But Jeff was a vital part of that. Of course, we're friends with Mark Herndon from Alabama.
Right.
But so you have a great connection with Alabama. Now, that came out, you said 96?
95, 96.
What was the name of the song that got cut out?
It's called Heartbreak Express.
And what album did that go on?
It was an album called In Pictures, and it was a great record. I remember when the record, when I got the cut and the record was coming out, thinking, I hope My Stupid Song is the worst song on the record. And fortunately it was.
Oh, wow.
But
wow.
It was the album that had Ordinary Girl on it and, a few other hits. But it was a great record.
Did you ever get to hear your song on the radio? Did it ever make radio airplay?
No, but it was on the backside of the single of Ordinary Girl.
Oh, there you go.
So I could go into Waffle House.
Play the B-side.
Put a quarter in, and this is the best part about it. The actual 45, the vinyl single.
Yeah.
On one side it said Ordinary Girl, and it had the writer's name on that. Then you flip it over and it says Heartbreak Express. It's got the same writer from Ordinary Girl.
Oh no! You didn't even get credit on the piece of paper,
exactly.
But on the album,
I have the single at home, and
Yeah. But, that's wild.
But the check's still cleared, so.
Well, that's good. So that's good. Now you have a running event with Alabama. Didn't you have another one come out a year or two ago?
Yeah. Their latest record is called Southern Drawl. Mm-hmm. And I mean the funny part about that is when I had the first cut, mm-hmm. originally Jeff wanted to do a different song of mine, and he ran it by the band, and then everybody wanted to get in on it and change a few lyrics here, and there were going to be 5 writers on it.
Right.
And he said, "No, we're not going to do that." So I get a call from his secretary. I remember I was in a hotel room in Toledo, Ohio, which is pathetic enough as it is. My apologies to people in Toledo.
Yeah, they're shutting off the internet right now.
Right, yeah. So
I've been there. There's nothing there.
No. So I get a call from Jeff's secretary, and she said, Jeff wanted me to call you. She said, they're not going to cut the song. And I went, oh, God, really? She said, yeah, but they're going to cut Heartbreak Express instead. And I went, okay.
All right.
Yeah. So the cut on the new record is the one that Jeff wanted to cut 20 years ago.
Originally.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird how that turned out?
So once every 20 years you get a cut.
Once every 20 years I get an Alabama cut. Yeah, it's like that. The next one, we'll see.
Yeah. As long as you and Jeff are still healthy.
Well, unfortunately Jeff's not.
Yeah. Parkinson's, I believe, is the issue with him. So, pray for all him and the family. That's a tough disease. A lot of people know Parkinson's.
Unlike you, it's just a mental disease.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people just think of Parkinson's. They know Michael J. Fox.
Right.
Has the same issue. So.
And Muhammad Ali.
And Muhammad Ali, very, very true. Other cuts? Have you gotten other cuts than just Alabama cuts, or are you solely an Alabama guy?
I've had a couple of things. I had several years back after Hurricane Katrina. We did a record at the studio as a benefit, to try to send some money to New Orleans. And one of the songs that I wrote on that, I was able to get Leroy Parnell to cut.
Oh, there you go.
That to me was, was really something, because I always loved Leroy's guitar playing, his singing, just everything about him. And to have him sing one of my songs was, really something special.
Well, Heartbreak Express was just cut again on Tom Worth's album, right?
Worth, yeah, because he heard us doing it at one of the Writers' Nights things, and he said he wanted to cut it, and I was thinking, why do you have to cut the one song that there's just plenty of other songs, but he liked that one, and he did a really cool version of it. Tom's a great guy, so
yes, he is.
Yeah, another artist we need to get back on the show soon.
He's a very busy person, but
he is. I know he's very busy. Have we ever found out about his?
Stanley? I don't know.
Stanley. How Stanley's doing? We need to check in. Stanley was a little under the weather last we knew. Well, Stanley's doing all right.
The trumpet player?
Yep.
He's dead.
Oh, no,
Sorry,
we did not hear that.
No,
so.
he died. He had, once again, one of those great guys, and and it's just the way it is. Sometimes you're here one day, and the next day you're not.
Yeah, you're not promised
and,
it.
If you don't live your life, to its full extent every day.
Which I think Stanley did. I think Stanley must have. He was,
and you're cheating yourself, because you're cheating everybody around you, because, it's, that's why I consider myself so fortunate, is that I can do something that I really love every day of my life.
Right. Yeah.
Well, let's do a quick shout out to Andy Parton. He's in Florida at Disney World. He's our other partner in crime. So
awesome, Andy, all the way down in Florida.
We've got a few more listeners. I see James Bell was on. Mary Lou Diane Giberson also is listening.
Hello, Mary Lou.
Goodbye, Hart.
All right, let's write a song about that. Peter, we can work on something on that.
Need to do something. Do you mind playing Heartbreak Express?
No.
All right.
No.
This is the one that launched Alabama. They were nothing until this.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
This is the one that did it.
Yeah.
Ordinary Girl really didn't do it for him. It was the B-side that didn't have the original singer or the songwriter's name on there. That's the mysterious part. That's a good trivia question.
They were thinking, what we need is a song that we'll settle for.
Now, what I think would be funny is you have this is kind of morbid its own way, but you have a tombstone of yours there, but with that songwriter's name on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just kind of a subtle. That should be your album cover in the next one.
Well, that's fine if you want to stick him in the hole instead of me.
Yeah, I didn't say you had to be in the hole. Just put the wrong name on the headstone. That'd be great.
I was feeling kind of lonely, just a little bit blue. All I wanted was someone to talk to. And I was still getting over the hurt from the one before. When she walked in right through the barroom door. I ain't never been one to settle for second best. I want a first class ticket on a Heartbreak Express. Well, punch my ticket. I'm heading on down the line. The first stop, Missouri. Here I go one more time. Destination dead ahead, pain and loneliness. I got a first class ticket on a Heartbreak Express. better you think I'd learn. If you're gonna chase fire, you're gonna get burned. And I was still getting over the hurting from the one before, when she walked in right through the ballroom door. I ain't never been one to settle for second best. I want a first class ticket on a Heartbreak Express. Well, punch my ticket, I'm heading on down the line. The first stop, Missouri. Here I go one more time. Destination dead ahead. Pain and loneliness. I got a first class ticket on a Heartbreak Express. Well, punch my ticket, I'm heading on down the line. The first stop, Missouri. Here I go one more time. Destination dead ahead. Pain and loneliness. I got a first class ticket on a Heartbreak Express. I got a first class ticket on a Heartbreak Express. I got a first class ticket on the Heartbreak Express. I got a first class ticket on the Heartbreak Express. I got a first class ticket on the Heartbreak Express.
What was it like the first time you heard Alabama's version?
Well, Jeff called me and played it to me over the telephone. So, you know, that was pretty cool. And apparently, with the band, that was one of their favorite songs to do in their show, because everybody could open up a little bit on it and rock out. Because there wasn't the same, strict requirement to play everything just like the record on something like that. Mm-hmm. So, and that was nice. And, I never got to see them do it. I've never heard it on the radio. But, it's been used in TV and movies a couple of times. And
now, does the royalty check come from the movie too? Do you get that from that or no?
When the record first came out, I got a check one time that was from movie usage, I think.
Oh, okay.
And and that was that was a good time. That's when people still bought records.
Right.
Nowadays, as a songwriter, it's hard to tell where the monetary stream is.
Right.
And so, you have to, most artists make their money from touring and merchandise.
Right.
At multiple levels of the business, because it costs so much to tour. And, you have this standard of bigger and bigger and longer and louder and, flashier shows.
Yep. Keeping up with the Joneses,
and that
so to
stuff
speak.
costs money.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yep. Now, 20 years later, when you got the phone call, was it Jeff that contacted you about?
Actually, it was, yeah.
Recording second. That's great.
Yeah.
Because remember that one song I really wanted to do? And we're gonna do that this time.
Hey, it's still available.
I told you so. Yeah. You should have listened to me 20 years ago. Should have put both of them on the first that one album. But
well, actually, it was supposed to go on the record following that.
Oh, was it?
And it got pushed off at the last minute.
Okay.
Which kind of ruined my week back then.
Yeah.
So.
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, exactly.
So now, did that album go platinum for him?
It did.
Now, do you, as a writer, get any kind of plaque or anything that goes for that?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
You get a platinum album?
Actually, at home, I've got the gold plaque.
Okay.
Which is the one that means everything to me.
Right.
And then on the wall of the studio, I have the platinum plaque, which is just there to impress people.
Right.
Well, I mean, when you're a songwriter in this business,
Right.
And especially a songwriter of a certain age,
your credibility.
shall we say?
Yeah.
What everybody wants is a gold record.
Right.
Because 30, 40 years ago, there weren't a lot of platinum records.
Right.
So, the gold record to me is the standard, and that's, I'll always be proud of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. So you
Yeah.
got that, little light on the wall shining down on it, do you?
No.
No? Okay.
Not quite.
Only when company comes over, you flip on
I mean,
the
unless neon counts.
Yeah. There you go. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat when I got to meet an artist who was with Mellencamp and was on a lot of Mellencamp as a secondary artist. He just got his name, in the credits for playing additional mandolin or something. And of course, he had platinum albums on his wall from Mellencamp, and I'm going like, where did you get all these at? He goes, well, I was on all the albums, and they all went platinum. And I'm like going, so you get a platinum album even if you're just kind of like
for participating,
that was the first,
yeah.
Yeah, it was the first time I ever found that
had,
out because I was never on a platinum album. I was on a black one.
Right.
Several of them. Speaking of that, we got the vinyl show coming up.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
What a segue.
But I mean, I had two artists that I recorded that won Grammys last year.
Oh, great.
One was Mike Ferris, who's a gospel singer, and you know who Mike is.
I know Mike.
Yeah. Mike is actually he's from this area, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, with the Screaming Cheetah Wheelies.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And then he fronted Double Trouble after Stevie Ray died.
Right.
And now he's doing his own thing, and it's a big, barn-raising gospel thing.
Huh.
And on the Gulf Coast record that we did, the benefit record, he did a song on there. And he just won a Grammy last year. And another guy, an artist that I produced named Jason Ritchie, who's a harmonica player. And he's a harmonica player like Jimi Hendrix was just a guitar player.
Right.
Or Michael Jordan was just a basketball player.
Right.
I mean, this guy is world class. There's nobody on the planet that can do what he does at all. You ask any of the guys, and they'll say, "Well, I can do this, but I can't do all of that."
Yeah. Isn't it pretty cool to get to stand there and get to see those guys?
Yeah, but he was on Johnny Winter's last record.
Oh man.
And the record won a Grammy, so Jason got a Grammy, and I don't know anybody that deserves it more than he does.
That's cool. It's always cool when you get lucky enough to be around somebody that are at the top of the field. I got to see, we were talking about Buddy Rich, I got to see him play twice.
Yeah.
Changed my whole life of drumming at that point. Because first of all, I can never do that. I could never do that. But then you sit there and go, you know what? I'm a long ways from where I need to be. But I got to stand next to him in a radio interview. And after he just put on as an 18-year-old kid, watch him do the best drum solo I've seen in my life, even to this day.
Yeah.
And he's been dead for many, many years. The guy that was interviewing him said, "So what's next for you, buddy?" He goes, "I got to get back in the rehearsal. I just got to get better. It wasn't good enough tonight."
Yeah.
And he went, "Oh, man." So it's nice to see those guys like your harmonica player and the drummers.
Well, and what a lot of these guys have in common is just that right there.
Yes, yep.
That it's never good enough. No matter how good they are, they want to be better. All they hear is the flaws in their playing.
It took all the air out of us when we were all standing around there going, that was the best. And not knowing then that was the best I was ever going to see.
Yeah.
And he's like, it just wasn't good enough. And we're going, wow. How much better than perfect can you be? And he just was not happy. He had to go back. Yeah, I know. You can be at Jason's level.
Well, there's a different grade of musician in Nashville than you're going to find almost anywhere.
Right.
When I went to do my album, it was just the guys that never played the music, but within 4 hours they had 5 songs done and were out the door. And it was just
these guys can do that, and they'll play it better than the guys that have been playing it for 5 years.
Yeah.
Right.
And bring something to it that brings it to life in a way that you didn't anticipate.
Jamie Loritz, we'll have to say Jamie Loritz is like that.
I know, Jamie's a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Oh, is he from Dog Ear Studios? Yeah,
He's
Jamie.
living down in Florida now.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I know he was heading down there the last time I saw him play. He was heading to Florida. If you haven't seen Jamie Loritz play, you need to get out and watch that guy play.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's funny because when you go and you look him up, you see the Jamie Loritz from the 80s, 90s era.
With the hair.
With the big poofy white snake hair.
Yeah.
Tori Amos's guitar player and stuff back in the day.
still
But now
got
you
that
look at him, it's like he's cut real short. It kind of looks like a John Denver wannabe, only taller.
I've still got that here.
Yes, you still got that.
On your chin.
Yeah. But Jamie Loritz, I'm sure he's still playing down in Florida, wherever he's at. Great player.
You talked about the vinyl show.
The vinyl show is coming up when?
The 29th of this month.
Right
Sunday
before
the
Halloween.
29th.
Right before
Yes.
Halloween.
And you know, it's been a year since we played a particular record.
Oh,
And
no.
I think it's time we pulled it back out.
I'm so afraid. See, I love the vinyl show because you get to hear all the hisses and the pops and the cracks and the skips. Just like the old days back in the 60s and 70s, a lot of us grew up on. I love the vinyl show. We do themes every month. So
Can you guess what the record is?
I'm almost afraid you pull out too many scary things. Is it the Poisoning Pigeons?
No.
Face from
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm going to apologize to our listeners already. The Face from
Outer
Space.
Space.
The face from outer space.
Yeah. Philip, at one point, two people in that whole business said, yeah, that's a good song. Let's put that on a record. Yeah. I don't know how they kept their jobs. Surely they got to be in the fine art of sanitation work somewhere. I don't know.
There might be a gold record of that one hanging on the wall somewhere.
Somewhere there's a producer that listened to a Neil Young guitar solo going down and said, that's the one.
That's the one. And one of Neil's guitar solos off of Cortez the Killer's in the top 5 guitar solos of all time, ranked by guitar players, not friends, not fans. Guitar players went, oh, that was killer.
Yeah.
I'm like, did you hear Warren Haynes redo that? I think that's a little better version of that. But
I mean, it's like the one of those phrases that you never hear. It's like, Yoko, can you sing another one for us?
Oh, man, let's get on past that. We were just talking about Yoko and Kiss, Kiss, Kiss the other night. Oh, my.
Yeah.
If you want to get rid of a flock of seagulls real quick, just put that on the stereo.
It'd be Tiny Tim.
Oh, man, it's bad. No, nothing was worse than...
I met him, man.
And you go... John Lennon, you got all the talent in the world. Why in the world? I don't know. But so you met Tiny Tim.
I met Tiny Tim, and it was a Halloween thing. He was playing in Sarasota.
Wow.
With Bobby Boris Pickett.
Oh, really?
What a combination.
And a friend of mine, John Presti, you may even know John.
Mm-hmm.
You need to get him on the show if you don't. But John's band was backing up, Bobby Boris Pickett and I guess Tiny at some point. So, I went to see him, and he said, "Yeah, come on the bus." So I'm sitting there, on the bus, and there's Tiny, sitting across from me, with his ukulele in the grocery bag.
And the grocery bag?
Yeah, he used to carry his ukulele in a grocery bag, and it was just surreal, because it wasn't like, okay, you're not putting that character on, are you?
That's how he really was.
Yeah.
What you saw is what you got.
But the other thing about Tiny is that he actually had a tremendous baritone voice. And you can look that up on the internet and find it and just be blown away by, just what a rich baritone he had.
Kind of the old Gomer Pyle kind of thing where that talking and then how he really sang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wow, that's wild. I actually went into a producer wanted to work with us back when I was in a band many years ago, and he brought us to his office. He brought the band to his office, and on his wall he had his pictures of famous people that he has put together, worked with. Just been lucky and been in the same room, got pictures, snapshot with him. But the big picture was him arm in arm with Tiny Tim.
Hey.
And I looked at that and went like, check, please, we're out of here. Because this guy's producing Tiny Tim. I'm not singing falsetto and playing the ukulele. That's not going to happen.
I can see you doing that.
Oh, yeah, I'd be probably right up there with the best of them, I'm sure. No, but yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. It struck me to this day. David Woody Records, so I'll never forget that. Tiny Tim, and he was proud of it. I'm like going, man, I don't know if I'd put that one on the wall. You might want to hide that one. The other ones were okay, but that one there.
Right.
Yeah, him and Kerry Levgren was on the wall, and I love Kerry Levgren.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, credibility. You know, you worked with him, and you know that's great. Kerry, the great guitar player from Kansas, from the band Kansas and from Kansas. But Tiny Tim just didn't do it for me. So, sorry. And Tiny's rolling over in bags of cash right now.
You didn't grasp the depth of his talent.
Apparently not.
Yes.
What was his wife? They got married on the Johnny Carson show? Miss.
Oh, God.
Oh, Miss something. They call her Miss.
Yeah, Miss Connie. Was it Miss Connie?
Miss Connie? That don't sound right, but I remember them getting married on Johnny Carson,
Johnny
and we all
Carson,
went,
yeah.
really? He got married?
Yeah.
Wow, there's hope for
And she was
the rest
attractive.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he was like 6'4". I mean, he was a
of us.
big guy.
Just ill-built, just odd, you know.
Yeah.
Had the-
Vicky?
Miss Vicky.
Miss Vicky.
Yes,
thank you.
Miss Vicky. So look that up. All right, let's get back to
Let's
some
play
music.
some music.
Yes. Let's get off the don't do a Tiny Tim cover, please do not.
Okay,
Just
well,
go
I
into
have
one
no
of yours.
falsetto, so
Okay.
so you're in luck. Okay, this is a song. I think I attempted to do this last time I was on the show and didn't have my lyrics, but this is a song that I wrote for a friend of mine a couple of years ago on a significant birthday. Turns out we're the same age, and since we went to high school together, and so it's about turning 60, which one of these days I'm sure you'll do.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. There's 60 years on this earth. I know you've seen your share of tears. All the joy and love that life can bring. Family and friends, they all gather here to celebrate this day and laugh and sing. I know we all have stories of our own, and none who climbed the mountain made the journey all alone. But the victories and failures just remind us every day that the only thing that matters is who we touch along the way. There's 60 years on this earth, and there are dragons left to slay, and dreams left to come true for what it's worth. But sometimes we forget that there are words we didn't say after 60 years upon this earth. And if we smile and soldier on, we will prevail, and try to see the rhyme and reason and look beneath the veil. In that moment of vision where it all becomes so clear, we will see the face of everyone that we hold dear. Let's recall, let's relive how the innocence of youth grew into this one important truth. Keep our sails into the wind, leave the safety of the berth for the treasures yet to find. After 60 years upon this earth, after 60 years upon this earth,
Mr. Philip Wolf, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, Philip, other than buying a couple of Alabama cuts or a Leroy Parnell cut, how can they get their music? Where can they find your stuff at?
I have no idea.
Well, honestly,
for somebody who makes their living in the music business, it's remarkable how little I actually know about things like that. Because I don't have my own stuff out there.
Okay.
Every once in a while I get to do this radio show or something, and that's enough for me. I'm not trying to sell my stuff as an artist, and
okay.
I'd love it if people wanted to buy it.
Right. Are you performing live? You doing a lot of any writer rounds or doing some of that stuff?
Every once in a while I'll do a writer's thing, but it's it's just a loop that you have to be in.
Right.
If you're not in that loop, you kind of have to beg people to get in, and and I'm just not a big fan of the process of the the writers round things.
Right.
I know a lot of people do it and it's great, but I would prefer to listen to somebody play 4, 5, 6 songs in a row, so you kind of get a sense of who that person is as a writer, and it tells you a little bit about who they are as a person.
That's the whole format of our show too.
Yeah.
Was to be un-Nashville. You come out, you do 2 or 3 songs. Thanks, Philip.
Right.
And you're gone, and then we bring up the next artist. Let's find out who you are, how you think.
Which could be scary for some of us.
Oh yeah.
Yes, some we find out a little bit too much, and some we can't get enough of. So I'll let you figure out which one that you are on that one, Jason.
Snow cone was bad enough.
Yeah, snow cone.
Yeah, Graham Parsons snow cone.
Oh man, yeah, that one was bad. Yeah, that one was bad. And I just read all about him the other night too, but and that came from a mouth of someone I didn't think she would talk about. But so, do you have a Facebook page that if you're going to go out and do anything, people go on, or you don't?
I have. I
know you and I are on Facebook with each other.
I have my own Facebook page, but it's once again, it's one of those things I don't really have time to keep up with. A lot of people use social media for promotion, and it's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I don't put enough time into it to do that.
Okay.
Every once in a while I'll mention something after the fact.
Okay. Well, hopefully you're still getting royalty album checks from the albums.
I got a check just the other day for $1.78. Yeah.
So you are rolling in the big time.
Actually, if it's under $10, they don't send you the check. So
you got to go pick it up.
Basically, a promissory note for $1.78.
Wow! So they added up to $10.
Yeah.
You can frame that.
Oh, I know.
Put it next to the gold record.
I used to get that.
Exactly.
I had some stock a long time ago when I actually was somebody, and I sold all of it. Because you got into a crisis, sold all of it. But I had like 1 share left, and I was getting a dividend every quarter off that 1 share. So they would send a check to my house, and my kids would get the mail, and they'd see it, and they'd open it up. Dad, you know how much your dividend check was this time? 68 cents. Yes. And it went up, I think it got as high as 80-something cents. We were like, yes, we're rocking.
Just think if you had like 5 shares,
Yeah, man, I could have gone and maybe got a cheeseburger at a Happy Meal.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's funny. It's a rough life to be as a singer-songwriter. It takes a lot of time.
Well, I mean, it does take a lot of time and a lot of self-searching for a lot of people.
Right.
But if you make the choice to live your life as an artist, as a musician, then you are going to give up a lot of the benefits that other people take for granted.
Right. The sacrifices, paying your dues.
Yeah, exactly. But I have a lot of friends that I went to high school with. Their houses are paid off. Their kids all went through college.
Yeah. They got a bank account, a 401k.
They got a big retirement plan and all that stuff. This business doesn't do that.
Right. Unless your name's Mick Jagger or
right,
Garth
exactly.
Brooks.
Yeah, I mean it does for a select few.
Very small, yeah.
But it's also very there are a lot of people who used to be big artists that are performing because they have no choice.
Yep. Yep. And there's a lot of people that, will never get, and again, fame or wealth is only so much. A friend of mine is a great guitar player out of Texas. He's endorsed by several companies, Dean Guitars or Morley Pedals and Ernie Ball Strings and so on. Doesn't have a big jackpot bank account. Doesn't have it's like he said, he goes, I've got all this, and I drive a PT Cruiser with a cracked windshield and the rear end needs to be replaced.
Well, and some people are bitter about that.
Right.
If you put your heart and soul and your life into music and you don't have, the material things to show for it, I don't look at it that way.
Yeah, he didn't either. He looked at it, my house is paid for, my car is paid for. I don't really have to want for a lot. He goes, I just got to watch what I do. But he's happy. They fly him to go to wherever he needs to go, and he does a show or a clinic. Doesn't make a ton, makes enough to keep the lights turned on, and that's success. A lot of people think you got to be the next Garth Brooks or Paul McCartney.
No, you can make a living in this business,
yes.
And but it's I don't want to really compare it, but in some ways it's like the ministry,
right?
That it becomes a calling,
right?
And you do it because you've been chosen to do it. Not
that's a good way to put that.
Not everybody has the talent or the natural ability to do that. So, when if you're fortunate enough to to be one of those people, then you should appreciate it every day.
Right. Well, that was a great analogy the way you put that. I don't think, and you and I have been in about the kind of the same boat. I don't have an Alabama cut, but we can, Jeff Cook didn't call me up and said, "Hey, man, I'm taking one of your records." But I go back 40 years ago. Would you trade it now that you see what you've done, what you've gone through? I wouldn't trade mine for the world.
No, not at all. No, because this this business has allowed me to do things, meet people,
see things.
Experience. Yeah.
I mean, I know there's a lot of people that love their job, and bless your heart, if you love your job, you stick with it, because if you love it, you stick with it. Yeah. I don't care if you're a cement mixer, truck driver, or whatever. If you love your job, you stay with it. But music has been something that I think is universal. Country to country, religion to religion, we can we have this common bond. You and I are totally opposite, and we're not going to get into it tonight, but you and I are totally opposite in our political beliefs.
Right.
But because of music,
right,
we're still one family.
No, and that's the way it works. Is that it's not, there are certainly a lot of people that will politicize music.
Right.
Yeah. But I play with people all the time. All the time that we have the one rule.
Right.
There is a lot of politics in music.
Well, there is. And
the sad thing
that's
is
a different kind of politics. That's a different kind of politics. Politicking who you know and all that good stuff. But it just music kind of looks at it and goes, I don't care what party you belong to, and I don't care what religion you belong to. Pull out the guitar and let's play.
Right.
Let's join this unity of brotherhood and sisterhood. And I think music has been more of I don't know what you might say. It has uplifted me in so many different times when life gets rough. It's therapeutic. And I don't know if I could be a mailman and have that kind of happiness. You know what I mean?
No, and when you play live and you have a good night, you played well, there's nothing like that.
Right.
Well, we've got one more artist to bring up here momentarily.
Yes, we do.
So can you do one more song for us, and we'll get Christopher Long ready to come up.
Hey, and Jerry Mosley says, glad to hear you're on the radio.
Jerry, hey,
I'm out.
Jerry.
He's out in Utah. He just unloaded and is heading to Texas this weekend. He says, take care, Phil.
Jerry is a guy that I played in a band with several thousand years ago, bass player.
Wow.
Great guy.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jerry, for listening to the show.
Yeah.
Philip, why don't you go ahead and take us out with a song, and then we'll get the next artist up here.
Okay. I guess I should play my latest big hit.
There you go.
There you go.
Or unless you want to do a 20 year from now Alabama future cut. Unless you can foresee that.
Yeah.
Song you wrote 10 years ago.
Yeah, I don't even want to think what the context would be.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a song about being lonely on the road and missing the woman you love, in some physical way. So. Well, I've been gone too long, I get lonely. I got no one to talk to but these hotel walls. I'll be coming home tonight on that old Silver Eagle. Got my guitar and my bags, and that ain't all. 'Cause I got some loving with your name on it. I've been keeping it too long, now it's long overdue. I've got some loving with your name on it. I've been keeping it all up for you. I've been thinking about tonight since I hit the road. I've been from Houston up to Boston, out to old St. Louis. There's been one thing on my mind for 500 miles. I've been thinking about tonight, me and you. And I got some loving with your name on it. I've been keeping it too long, now it's long overdue. I got some loving with your name on it. I've been keeping it all up for you. I'll be coming home again 2 weeks of Sunday. Don't know where I'm going, how long I'll be gone, but I'll be spending all my time with you on my mind, 'cause I know where my loving belongs. I got some loving with your name on it. I've been keeping it too long, now it's long overdue. I got some loving with your name on it. I've been saving it all up for you. I got some loving with your name on it. I got some loving with your name on it. I got some loving with your name on it. I got some loving with your name on it.
Mr. Philip Wolf, everybody.
Thank you. And that song is on the Southern Drawl album by Alabama, and it's a bonus cut on there.
Okay.
Which can only be purchased.
Oh, Jeff Cook is calling you again.
No, remarkably enough, that's Carlton Collins, who I was speaking about earlier.
Oh, man.
In the evening. Anyway, so that song can, that version of the record can only be bought at Cracker Barrel.
At Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, which is one of the few brick and mortar places that's selling music anymore.
Wow, that's great.
So.
Well, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, pick up your version of that album at Cracker Barrel. Get the bonus song. Get Philip's tunes. That from Alabama, and they got a Leroy Parnell. What's cut with the album on? What album is that one?
That's an album called Forgotten But Not Gone, which you can get on Amazon and CD Baby and stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, and the song is called Forgotten But Not Gone.
Okay. Well, excellent.
And if you have me back sometime, I'll do that one.
Yeah, we'll do that. Well, everybody, we want to thank Mr. Philip Wolf. Thank you very much. 20 years from now, we'll have you on with your third cut from Alabama. But we appreciate it. I believe you're all muted and ready to go, so we're going to get the next artist up here. I'm going to make a few quick announcements. Don't forget, we're getting close to the middle of the month here, so if you're interested in becoming not songwriter, but Artist of the Year for 2017, our Midnight Madness WFMC Jams Artist of the Year, we've down to the final 8. It's getting close. Some real battles in there. So go to our Facebook page, look it up. You'll see it looks like the final 4 NCAA basketball brackets. You'll see the final 8 on there. go into our comment section, type in the name of the artist you like, and just hit enter. And if you want to, like them 55 times, please do so. We're trying to get exposure to each and every artist that's on that page. It's going to go down from the final 8 to, as I call the Great 8, to the final 4, and then we'll bust down into in December, I believe, is the final show where we'll announce the artists. So we have 2 real heavy hitters going back to back with each other right now. So make sure you get out there. If you want your artist to win, you got to vote for them. And I think almost every one of the artists that's in the final 8 have all been on this show. Some are from out of state, out of town, but I think all the final 8 have actually been here, performed here. But we want to thank Chris from HeatFMRadio.com out there. Thank you, Chris, for putting our stuff on your radio station. You had Mr. Philip Wolf on. We're going to have Mr. Chris Long on. We have 2 Chris Longs as our friends of the show. Yeah, so we got this Chris Long. I don't know. We call him Long 1, the other one Long 2, or so. But we got this Chris. He'll be on here just shortly. He's getting set up and tuned up. Tomorrow, I believe the FMC Jams vinyl show is going to be played on HeatFMRadio.com. They'll start at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. It'll be 9 o'clock Central Time. It'll go until, I believe, 5 o'clock their time, 6 o'clock, or 5 o'clock our time, 6 o'clock their time. So check it out. I don't know which vinyl show they're doing tomorrow. Do you know? Did he let you know which one's going on?
I know last week he played the 70s show.
The 70s show.
And it's only because the other 2 of the shows didn't upload because we filled up his Dropbox.
Oh, okay.
So the other 2 shows got lighted tonight, so he probably do the state show this week.
Well, hopefully you didn't get the partial ones. If you got the partial ones, put those on hold. Just play the full shows. But a lot of fun. We're doing the vinyl show. Did we come up with the date? Did we say that it was October 29th?
29th, yes.
29th. That's a Sunday. This time is going to be all spooky Halloween stuff. They're going to my phone.
Well, not all, because I couldn't do a full 8 hours with what I've got.
No, but we'll be close. We're going to have trivia questions and monster stories. And
we thought of some scary artists, though, too.
Yes.
Like George Burns.
Oh, man. Didn't Leonard Nimoy do an album one time?
Yes, he did. And so did,
Captain Kirk?
Yeah.
William Shatner. Yeah.
That was terrible.
Oh, I just watched him again the other night on The Twilight Zone. And he never said, everybody thinks the Ace Ventura thing.
Lucy in the sky with diamonds. That's just talk lyrics.
Yeah. He's the original rapper, wasn't he?
I think so.
I think he's the original rapper. All right, so looks like we got Mr. Chris Long set and fired up, ready to go.
Before he starts. Friday the 13th. What happens?
Jason comes out with a ski mask, and he makes us all pay for listening to his music.
That's right.
No, Down South Jukin is actually playing with Jason Adams.
That's right. Myself, Jerry J. Thomas, you and Adam, and Bill
Mathis.
Bill Mathis will be playing at
Megabytes
in Crossville.
Yes. So we'll be up there. If you're out and about in the Crossville area, come check us out. Megabytes is our first time playing there. We're going to have fun. It's going to be a blast. So Friday the 13th, Adam's already got his outfit set up for that night. I thought that was kind of funny. My son Adam is getting into this Friday the 13th kind of thing.
Bill has been texting me all day. He's getting pretty excited about it. So
good.
It's going to be a fun night.
If you don't know anything about Bill Mathis comes from a huge musical family. His father was the country Johnny Mathis, which penned over 500 songs for the Nashville group up there. One with the number 9, I believe, with Ray Price.
And he also played Little Hank Williams Jr. in Living Proof.
Isn't that crazy? So come on out, check out Bill Mathis and the rest of the Hee Haw gang will all be up there. We're playing all your some classic covers. We're going to be doing classic rock, classic country. We're going to pull out some of Jerry J's stuff. We're going to pull out some of Jason Adams stuff. And I've got one that Jeff Cook was thinking about. I'll probably pull that one out that night. No, I'm sorry. There's nobody listening to my records or my albums going.
No, your record is on our station.
No,
yes,
don't even listen to that. Don't even listen to that. Yeah, I'm not singing on. I'm just playing the drums. So let's get to the music part of this here. We got Mr. Chris Long that has joined us. He's the original Chris Long.
He travels 3 hours to be on our show. So
Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah, it's well.
He's glutton for punishment.
According to our GPS, it was actually like 4.5 hours by the time it took us down every 2-lane road that it could possibly find.
Where were you coming from?
Kingsport.
Kingsport.
Yeah.
Okay.
And every time I come down here, I find out that there's a new way to get here, and it takes me down that route every time.
Oh no!
So, and when you put me and Dad in the car together, then you get all kinds of anger when that happens. So
now, Kingsport, where's that about in approximation?
Kingsport is up in the point of Tennessee. We're up
the very eastern
40
part?
miles from Virginia.
The eastern point?
Yeah, up near the eastern point. So we're up near Bristol.
Wow. Okay. Well, we appreciate you traveling all that way. Why don't you go into a song real quick, and then we'll get to talking to you a little bit here. Mr. Chris Long, everybody.
All right. It's a song off of one of my albums. I don't remember which one it's on.
That's got to be a hard problem to have,
I put out 3 this year, so I don't remember which one this is on. I think it's on the live album. This is called Testify. I'm gonna scream at the top of my lungs. I'm gonna scream from the mountaintop. I wanna scream for everyone to hear, Lord, no, I'm never gonna stop. I'm gonna scream the truth and scream no lies. I wanna yell out the facts, baby, make you cry. Come on, little girl, better dry your eyes, 'cause I come to bear witness, I come to testify. Tell it like it is, make it perfectly clear. I wanna shout it out loud. I wanna hear it bouncing off the walls. I wanna tear your inhibitions down. I'm tired of all your grabbing, I'm tired of the wine. I'm tired of belly aching, baby, all of the time. I'm tired of your promise it'll be alright, 'cause I come to bear witness, come to testify, telling no lies. The time has come for me to take that stand. Here come the Bible, better raise my right hand. Swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, boy, so help you God. I saw to Mr. Judge, won't you tell me where to start? Yeah. Better turn on your radio, I'm gonna broadcast to the world. I need 100 million watts of power to tell them all about you, girl. I'm telling no place for you to hide, no hole deep enough to crawl inside. Come on, little girl, it'll be alright, 'cause I come to bear witness, come to testify. I come to bear witness, come to testify, and I'm telling no lies. 'Cause baby, you're wrong. Now baby, I'm gone.
Great song.
Thank you. That is about that person that you want to warn everybody about, that you find in your life, and you're like, you know what? I need to warn people about them.
Yeah,
and then, why are you two pointing at each other at that point?
Yeah, we have that Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis thing going on.
Both thumbs were kind of pointing at each other.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He don't lie well. Well, it's nice to have you back on the show. It's been almost a year, you said? Almost a year to the week?
That was for Philip.
Oh, for Philip, okay.
Yeah. I think I was...
You were on Randy's show last.
Back in the spring, like around my birthday. I think it was down here on my birthday, actually.
Yeah, you were at the Last Chance Saloon Group.
Yes.
So, we're glad you're a glutton for punishment. You came back, traveled a long ways.
Yeah, we did the pawn shop circuit on the way down, too. So
find anything cool?
Actually, yeah, I found a... Oh, wait, my wife might be listening.
Uh-oh. Christmas gift?
Dad found.
Okay.
No, we look for like old military artifacts and stuff like that, and it's just I'm a history teacher, so the other love is history, and it's just as expensive as playing music. So,
yeah. So what's your favorite part of history? You're in the military, apparently.
Yeah, we
World War II.
Yeah, I really focus on Second World War, but that's not what I teach.
Okay.
I teach prehistory through Civil War. And
wow.
I don't actually get into my actual field where I'm, the most strong at. But I do ancient history, medieval history. Gotta love doing religious history when you're having to be politically correct. It's hard to do all that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's you have to know a little bit about everything. So, and then on days when you don't feel like doing it, you get your guitar out and play like, all right, guys, let's do the Egyptian blues. Yeah, that's my pyramid square. But I don't.
So, what was your most fascinating part about World War II? What was the one?
I think really the weaponology of it, about how that. I don't know. I guess that you could see that there was this technological leap that occurred during that time period that you don't see outside of wartime.
Do you think the Germans had that technological way advantage with the missiles and?
Yeah, that, and like just looking at the sheer capabilities that they had, that if they would have focused their attention in other places, it would have been a lot more nasty of a thing for us to have dealt with. But when you look at the Eastern Front, where you got 17,000 people dying a day,
right,
and it's hard for people to fathom that, because our guys fought a hard war against the Germans, but the Russians were fighting to such a much more massive thing. Whereas my wife's going, oh my God, he's on the radio talking about history.
Talking about
this is what happens.
I love music history. That's my favorite. But I mean, we go into baseball history, sports history, or war history.
And
it fascinates me.
Yeah,
and that's what I think our problem is today. Is we're trying to get rid of history. We're trying to rewrite the history books. Leave it alone. It happened. Deal with it.
Last night, after we played a show in Gatlinburg, the three of us are standing out in the parking lot talking about American history for an hour.
Right.
And it suddenly hit me. I'm like, we just played a show and we're talking about history. But it's awesome. I mean, I love that. I love that, being able to do that. So.
I did have to say, going back to the Germany thing, I saw a thing, and I think they did it out at Area 51, where
was there
at
aliens
one
involved?
point, no, there were no aliens. This is real. Where they actually opened up one of the hangars for the first time in years and did a video. Did you see that about Hitler's stealth aircraft?
I know they were we copied so much stuff from them at the end of the war. I
mean,
Operation Paperclip was basically the Russians getting their Germans and us getting our Germans, and let's have a Cold War.
Yeah.
And we put our Germans against each other, and up into probably the 70s, we were still dealing with all that stuff. So
well, it's a pretty cool thing. It's on probably YouTube. I'm sure you can find it on there. But it was really cool about where what was it? Was it the Battle of the Bulge where the planes were flying? No, I don't think it was Battle of the Bulge. But the German bombers were coming in, and they were spotted 20 minutes out, and the anti-aircraft took them all down. And so Hitler was like going, we've got to get in there closer. So they started coming up with stealth paintings, a whole bit. Well, they found two aircraft that they were building. One was in a hangar, and they burned it. The Germans burned it down, and then they found one somewhere else, and they took it to Area 51, and they said, let's rebuild it using the same kind of paint. And they used the old radar systems that the English people had in the days, and they figured that he would have had it if they had built them. Would have been, instead of a 20-minute window, could have got down within a 6-minute range, which would have been hard to get anti-aircraft flak up there. So, I mean, they were way advanced in rocketry and stuff. So,
and we live in the shadow of the Second World War every day. So it's still, the after effects still affect us. So it's a fascinating thing. I don't, like I said, my teaching stops around Civil War. So, but anytime I can get in on it. But that's we collect artifacts and all kinds of stuff like that, and
that's cool.
Relics and guitars.
Are you able to say what your coolest piece is that you got? Or you can't?
No. I mean, I collect. I've got a lot of stuff out of the Third Reich, and it's not because of. By no means do I agree with them politically.
Right.
But they'll never make it again. I mean,
Right.
it's a part of history. If you destroy history, you're doomed to repeat it. But we collect military firearms and historical pieces, bullets and stuff. We got Spanish American War stuff, and Dad's a bayonet enthusiast right now, so he's
got his share. All right. That's cool. I could go hang out at your guys' house all day and just look at that stuff.
Yeah,
or we go around so many places. I could go to Philip's house and just look at his gold and platinum album.
There you go.
See? It's history to me. That's good stuff,
then
man.
Then there's the guitar rooms, so we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's way too many in there, and I can feel the stare from my wife, who's 4 hours away right now, going, "You bought another one today, didn't you?"
No, I can't remember how many. I can't remember how many we have. Yeah. We have, of course, we just lost Tom Petty. And when I was away, my dad was watching TV, and they announced how many guitars Tom Petty had. And I can't remember how many it was. It was up there. And I got home. That's the only thing my dad could talk about. He goes, "You know how many guitars Tom Petty had?" Well, Dad, you know how many he probably didn't buy? Probably was given to him. But, these guys, they buy the high-dollar ones, and we'll go after those. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. I remember Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick had over 400 and something at one time.
Wow.
Now I think he's down to. I think he said he got down to 12.
Wow.
How do you pick that 12? What's the?
I tried that one time.
Picking 12?
No, to try to get below
a number,
a certain number, and I did. But I traded those in on other ones, so they just ended up replacing themselves.
See?
And then you run into the situation of going, "Man, I don't need that, but that's a great deal. I can make some money on that."
Yeah.
And then it sits in the garage, or you're like, "Man, I won't take that out and play it." So and you end up playing it a couple of shows. You're like, "Man, I can't get rid of that. I can't replace it for that. It's a great guitar." And then 2 years later, you open a case like, "Oh, I forgot I owned that." So that happens a lot.
There's a guy back in Indianapolis. I had a guitar shop in Indianapolis one time, and when I first met him, he came in and he brought in a beautiful American-made Telly, and he wanted to trade it on for what we had there. And I'm like going, "You really want to trade this? This is beautiful." And he goes, "Well, my wife doesn't care how many guitars I buy. I can only keep 12. So there's a guitar I really want to buy, so I got to get rid of one. And out of the 12, this is the worst one. I hate to see number one sitting in the fan, but he would come in probably every 3-4 months, and he would either sell a guitar to us or he'd trade one off for one that we had. He goes, I can buy as many as I want. I can only keep 12.
Oh, man.
So the rotation of his guitars, the stuff he came in was some of the better stuff we ever had. It was like, man, this is the worst he can deal with. He's getting rid of this. Man, we had some beautiful Strats, beautiful Gibsons. Had a nice Gretsch, country gentleman come walking in. I'm like, that's your worst pick of the bunch? Is this?
Yeah, it's like, man.
Yeah, man, that's other people, fight for a lifetime to buy a country gentleman. This guy's getting rid of one.
Well, I watched the interview. You're talking about Tom Petty, but Mike Campbell, he's a pawn shop guy. He would he would hit the pawn shops, and that's where he would grab his guitars from there. So I thought that was it's nice to see there's other, fellow
they're
members
out
of
there.
the club.
They're just people like everybody else. That's the one thing I like about a music shop is, we've had Brooks and Dunn in our guitar shop. We've had Montgomery Gentry's in our guitar. We've had Faith Hill in our guitar shop. You get all these people come up because you know what? They're just people. They go by and go, hey, a guitar shop. I wonder what they got.
Yeah.
And they'll just pop in. People think, well, they're rich and famous, so they just probably everything is shipped to them. They go through a catalog. I want this. No, they're like anyone else. They drive. We had a guy that was a part of the original rhythm section for the Jackson 5.
Oh, wow.
Come in and play. He was a drummer. He was a Jackson, and he's long passed on. But he showed up at my guitar shop. He goes, I just came in looking for a Dairy Queen off the road from Atlanta, Georgia, heading to Elkhart. I'm looking for a Dairy Queen. I walked by, and there was a guitar shop there. And he came in and goes, this is the guy that played drums on all the early Jackson 5 hits. And, a lot of people are going, well, they don't know who he is. I'm going, this guy's on the record that you're listening to on the Jackson 5 hits.
Wow.
But they just come into the normal shops like that. So it don't surprise me.
It takes a lot for me to be starstruck. I just don't. But yeah, I'm like that.
But you walk in to see Mike Campbell looking at a guitar.
I would probably be like, hey, cool, that's Mike Campbell. I'm not walking over there. I'll just let him enjoy his time and not bother him.
You would expect that at Bruins or somewhere in Nashville,
I do know one time he got really starstruck, though.
Who?
Chris.
Oh, when he saw you live
Yeah,
on stage, I'm sure.
Yeah. He came to the Last Chance Saloon. He saw me, and it was just.
He was, is that what it takes to become in music? Then you took that new career as a UPS driver or something. Sorry.
Well, we're going to switch the GPS voiceover to your voice. That way, we can hear you all the way home.
Yeah. All right, Chris.
You might
If you want to be
actually
as
give
good
us
looking as me, turn
better
right here. Yeah. Well, Chris, why don't you jump into another song real quick, and we'll start talking about musical history with you versus.
All right. This song I can thank Bart Maverick for.
Okay.
I was watching Maverick in the basement, and Maverick's up against this wall, and the guy's shooting at him and missing, and he's
Is this
like,
with Robert Conrad? Or the other one?
I can't remember who played Bart. Who played Bart?
Oh, yeah.
Anyhow,
4 million people are saying they know it, and
yeah, they know it.
6
and
of
it's
us here
like,
don't.
If only we had a call-in special.
Yeah, James Rockford.
He was Brett.
James Garner.
He was Brett.
He was Brett, okay.
But Bart's up against the wall, and the guy, and he's like, I'm not good enough liar to keep on lying. And the guy's like, well, I'm not a good enough shot to keep on missing, so you better be telling me the truth. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, that's a love song. And
you songwriters.
It didn't turn out that way, actually. But anyhow, this I'll keep on trying. Well, I've shown you everything that you needed to see, everything that you wanted from me, so believe what you want to believe. But I'm not good enough of a liar, well, to keep on lying. But I love you, baby, so I'll keep on trying. Now I've told you everything that you needed to hear, everything that you wanted from me, and now I'll be perfectly clear. But I'm not good enough of a liar, well, to keep on lying. But I love you, baby, so I'll keep on trying. Now I think you're starting to doubt all the things I'd say. It seems like it's getting harder for you to look the other way. But I'm not good enough of a liar, well, to keep on lying. But I love you, baby, so I'll keep on trying. And I'm not good enough of a liar, well, to keep on lying. But I love you, baby. I really love you, baby. But I love you, baby, so I'll keep on trying.
Mr. Chris Long, thank you.
Thank you, Bart Maverick.
So you write all your songs watching like Gunsmoke and Bonanza or
It was
Maverick?
Saturday morning, MeTV. I don't like regular I spent 15
Isn't
years.
MeTV cool?
MeTV's awesome because it's all shows that aren't, well, it's just good shows. They took Combat off. They had Combat at one point in time. And
We
that
love
angered me,
Combat.
And they took off Combat. I'm like, I need my Vic Morrow in the morning.
I
But
I love Combat. I wish they'd get 12 o'clock high on there.
Gallant Men is the one that, when I was little, you get the 3 channels, and Dad would always be like, "Oh, when I was a kid, there were shows like Gallant Men and Combat and 12 O'Clock High," and I'd be like, "I got Smurfs."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
Power
whoa.
Rangers.
And I'm like, well, I want good TV. And then finally it comes on and they take it off, or they put it on at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So the wife's like, "Why are you getting up?" I'm like, "Because Combat's on.
Yeah.
And I want to go watch it." And
That's my hardest thing. My hardest thing with my dad. He's almost 90, and bless his heart, it's MeTV. If it's not sports or news, it's MeTV. And so Gunsmoke. Yeah, you want me to run through the day's schedule during the week? But we watch our Gunsmoke, we watch our Bonanza, and at night Perry Mason. I didn't used to be into Perry Mason until I got older, so I get to watch all these old Perry Mason stuff. And I still like Mannix. I like Mannix, but I'm not into Mama's Family, and Alf. So they put those on there. They took off Hogan's Heroes. They put that on a different time frame. I'm like going, I'd watch 1,000 Hogan's Heroes before I'd watch one Mama's Family, but they can't get rid of that one. But MeTV, what a great show.
I mean, I worked for every network, so I had to watch all of that that they put on TV. I hate reality television.
It ain't reality.
I live in reality. Why do I want to watch it?
It's not reality.
Not only that, why do I want to watch scripted, fake reality?
Right.
And why do I care about these people? And it's like, I don't. I would rather literally I would watch I would watch Mama's Family before I watch anything like Survivor, The Real World, any of that junk.
I think if you want a real Survivor, you take a guy with no money and you drop him off in the slums of New York for a week. You got no money, you got no job, you got no wallet, you got no keys, you got no car.
Would you stop talking about my life?
Well, it's a song you need to write. Now, that's reality. Deal with it.
My idea for that show was real simple. You put them in Antarctica, and you leave them down there for about 4 months with no cameras and 2 rifles.
Right.
The winner gets $1 million. There you go.
Yeah.
But they won't do that. I mean, all these shows, it's literally about how much skin can we show, how much this, how much that. And
arguing,
it's
drama.
Like how much griping and confusion. And at one point in time, we looked into going on one of the ones that involved a shooting competition.
Mm-hmm.
And plainly, right there in the application, it says your ability to shoot a gun is not as important as your ability to provide drama to this show.
Right.
And I'm like,
can't deal with that.
Well, then how in the world are you gauging somebody as being the best shot if all they are is full of crap?
Right. So let me segue off that a little bit. Well, let me segue off that because when you were performing, I got a message about the competition that we have for our friendly little singer-songwriter Artist of the Year award. And apparently there is an artist that is not happy with another artist in the Great 8 list. And here's what I'm going to say to you. This is a fun competition. It is out there nothing more than to provide acknowledgement of the artists on there. When I leave here tonight, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at that. And if I find anything deemed that you are dogging another artist, I will disqualify you in a half a second. So if you're under disparaging against other artists on there, that's not our family, then you will be dropped. So the people that are listening that are doing that, stop it. And the people that are upset about it, just hang in there, man. You're not going to like everything that's going to go on there, but you do what you need to do. You just keep voting for the artist you want. That's all we need. Well, if you're on the artist and you like a certain...
Okay, I'll delete it already.
All right, thanks, Brian. Thanks, Brian. I knew you'd finally come around.
Jeez, man, I can't get away with nothing.
Yeah. It's just, we've got too much drama going on in this country for one way or another. Let's take a simple thing that is just fun to do. Vote for your favorite artist, and let this be a good competition. But if you're going to dog another artist who is working hard out there, just because you don't think your artist has a chance, then you're in for the wrong reasons. So we're all in this for the right reasons. It's all fun and therapeutic. So just to let you know, whoever's doing that, I will be looking at that. And if I deem that you need to be jumped off, then the artist you were jumping on will automatically take your position. So I make that executive decision.
Reality radio.
This Survivor Radio. See, that's what we need, Survivor Radio.
We'll get them voted off the island.
Yeah, vote them off WFC Jams Island.
Could you imagine what it'd be like if our show became reality to you?
Oh, we could do a reality show here. Yeah. This is just not fun enough for them out there. We just sit here and just crack jokes and
The nights when the artists don't show up and we just have massive chaos.
oh, it's the stuff before the artists show up is legendary. Because when the guy like Chris walked in on us, we're going, all right, clean the show up. All right.
I teach middle school. You're good.
See, Chris out there in New York, he's probably going, yeah, that's kid stuff compared to what we're used to. Yeah, so, but again, since we said that about Chris, we need to say, hey, Chris up
we
there,
had
Heat
a phone
FM.
interview one time before the show. He called, and
Oh,
I didn't realize
God.
he was on, and I was telling a story, and next thing you know, I hear, can you not use that language? And I said, oh, my.
Oh, yeah. And then he hung up. And then we had to call this guy or try to get him back and like going, we weren't really talking about you or anything. We didn't even know you were on the phone yet. But Jason had to tell a joke or something or a story, and, you know, it was amongst friends, you know, amongst us, you know. And didn't know it was going out live over the telephone lines. So we got to have a 6-second delay button with Jason around here.
Hey, if I can't piss somebody off, I'm not doing my job quite right.
I hear you.
That's why you need the big red button.
Yeah. Don't touch
no whammy,
the red
no whammy,
button.
no whammy, stop. But,
Go ahead and play us a song, Chris.
well, he was talking about the joy of doing the music and stuff like that, and Lord knows I don't ever do this to become famous. I don't really care. I do it because I enjoy it. And me and my buddy Mick, who's been playing a lot of shows with me, we been going out to like nursing homes and retirement homes and performing for the residents. And I had the pleasure of speaking to one of those gentlemen about his time in the Navy, and that's where this song came from. It's called In the Pine.
So far away from home. No, I don't know my destination. I don't know how far I have gone. And I wonder, when will I be home in the pine? Home in the pine. And I've seen this world twice around. And I found my gun many times. And I've seen things never thought I would see. Trading for nothing in this life. And I wonder, when will I be home in the pine? Home in the pine. Home in the pine. This land over there on the horizon, mountains rise up, touch the sky. That sweet smell I thought I left behind, and I'm home in the pine.
but I still remember the smell of the pine. It took me home when I was gone, and I wonder, when will I be home in the pines? Home in the pines. Home in the pines. Thank you.
Nice job, Chris. Now, you said you cut 3 albums out just shortly.
Yeah, I have a tendency, like, I've been recording at Still Creek Studios in Bristol, and I'll record like 20 songs and then pick 5 and then go back and hear the other 15 and be like, oh, that was kind of cool. But I don't know. I love going in the studio, but we play 100 and some shows a year. So I'm mostly out playing, and that's why I write them to go out and play. I don't really write them to try to sell them or anything.
Right.
I write to go out and play and just be on a stage, and sometimes in front of 4 people at a coffee house, sometimes in front of 400 at a venue or in a theater. And it's the magic of being out there doing that. That's the whole reason I love doing it. So I go out and...
You're on the same opinion as Philip was talking about.
Yeah,
you know, it's about the power of playing and power of music.
And it's honestly, if you're wanting to do this and become famous, you better suck it up and deal with it. You better do it because you love it. If you ever forget why you play music, you just don't need to do it.
Right.
I mean, when it becomes a job, you were talking about that. If it ever becomes a job, I work a regular job, and I love my job. I love being a school teacher, and I love history. But I give music up for 10 years, didn't even touch a guitar. And then I knew something was missing, and I thought that was slow-pitch softball, which is you want drama. There's drama.
Oh, yeah.
But,
hey, let's even add on that. Church League slow-pitch softball.
That is the most church league softball. You know, come bring your bat, a knife for stabbing, and other things. You know, you want to see people cheat and get hurt.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, man, I played on it. I played in the league.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I did that and busted myself up really bad just playing but it wasn't. I was never really. It wasn't what made me happy. What really when it, and when we, me and my dad Belvin, who's right here, we did a band in the late '90s, and we were recording. And at that point in time, if you were a regional band in East Tennessee recording a CD, that was. That was a big deal. There was a few of them out there doing it, but we did it, and it was cool. We got on the radio back home, and it was just like there's that pinnacle moment that you're just like, yeah, I'm on the radio. I just heard myself driving down the road, and then you realize it's only going out to like about 100-mile radius in the tri-state area, but it's still awesome. And but it was that was just so much fun. But
think you're on tonight, going around the world.
Yeah, and it's like. But up there, where I'm from, there's so many amazing musicians. There's just so many talented artists up there, and it's we have a great music scene, but it's cover city a lot of the times.
Right.
And we got tired of playing the same 35, 40 songs, and nobody was putting out anything that we wanted to learn.
Is it predominantly country up there? Bristol being the birthplace of country music?
Believe it or not, not really. It's predominantly, what would you say? There's bluegrass is a. Bluegrass
kind of got that Appalachian thing still going.
And you don't see a lot of like mountain music. You see, there's a great mixture. I guess that's just really the thing. It just depends on what town you go to and what venue you're at. I played up at Rhythm and Roots on one of the small little songwriter stages up there, and there was every genre of music you can imagine, and 20-some thousand people walking around going to the shows. It was. And we have a great music scene, but it's hit and miss, and it is really cover heavy. There's some great songwriters up there, but we all have to drive down here to find songwriter venues to really try to play our stuff that we write. Otherwise, I love playing the covers. I enjoy it, but I like doing my original music. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
that's me. And that's the whole reason I got back into it and doing the songwriter rounds and the songwriter shows and
Right.
meeting other writers and just sitting and talking. I mean, that's about as far as. Don't get me wrong. If somebody comes up and says, "I want to do that song," I'll be like, "Sure," but I'm not going to go walk up and down Music Row trying to pitch or pay somebody to pitch them or whatever.
Right.
I'm too old for that. I'm like too old to be try to make it. If I was a 20-year-old guy, I might think about that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing it for me right now.
Yeah. What's some of the other artists that influenced you?
Oh, well, Dad, that was the big one.
There you go.
That was the easy one. I remember in '85, American Bandstand was still on.
Oh, wow.
And Bryan Adams was on there, and he did Run to You, and they actually played it. They were like they wasn't lip singing.
Wow.
If they were lip singing, they were
Pretty
actually
doggone
playing
good.
along with the record.
Yeah.
But we went up to Magic Mart, which was like 2 towns away, and we bought that 45 as soon as we heard that song, and that kind of got the fire started. And then Mellencamp's Scarecrow album was huge.
Great album.
And then Born in the USA was out, and that one wasn't as influential as the live 75-85 box set that Bruce did when I actually got to hear the E Street Band do what the E Street Band can do.
And aren't they phenomenal?
And
all up and down.
And Bruce actually, as I got older, I realized what he was singing about. And the lyrics to the songs hit me, and I'm like, man, he's singing about us. He's singing about the mines shutting down, the farms going away. Mellencamp was doing the same thing.
Mellencamp, yeah, same.
And those guys were singing about real stuff. And I just never could get into the songs about drinking and partying and all that because just wasn't real to me.
Right.
And real to me was the people down the street losing their farm, or the people that lost their jobs in the mines that were right down the road from us and stuff.
Yep.
And watching stores close and being boarded up and towns die.
Billy Joel's Allentown.
Yeah,
that
and
stuff,
it was huge about that. And so those 3 guys, John Cafferty was huge
Right.
for me. I love John Cafferty. I had the pleasure of meeting him and Brian both. And John's great. He was a great guy. He talked to us. 45 minutes, and the guys in the band are on the bus going, "John, we got to go." And it was awesome. And that was our first taste of how the people that you just see on an album cover are just normal people
Right.
like everybody else. They just want to, Bryan Adams was great. He comes out, and when I got to meet him, it was like, "Did you like the show? Was it good?" And I'm like, "Did you, that seriously just
You're
happen?"
asking me?
I'm like, "How many hit songs have you?" I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah.
And you got to talk to him for a few minutes and talk some music, and it was like he really loves the music, and it's like it's not about the making money; it's about making music and enjoying it. And I actually said, "You didn't play When the Night Comes," and he's like, "Well, most people don't know I wrote that." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's my favorite song that you've ever wrote. I love that song." And I think they ended up doing it on one of the acoustic tour shows after
really?
that. And I was like, "Man, I wasn't at that one."
Yeah. So who's an artist that you haven't met yet that you would like to?
I would love to honestly just sit down without instruments and talk to Bruce and Mellencamp at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
I would. To me, that would just be a neat thing because both of them have just meant so much to me lyrically. We can butt heads politically all day long.
Right.
But when they start singing about real stuff and the everyday people, there's no politics in that. That's just us.
I thought both of them did real well. Something that the normal person could put themselves into and go, I can relate to that. I understand that.
Yeah.
John, I played in that neck of the woods where John was at all the time, and Larry Crane and Toby and all those guys were all in that same circle where we all hung out.
Yeah.
And they were just normal people, and John was just all about blue collar, man. Everything was all about the hard worker and how the farmers are getting the shaft, and he just wrote about it, so it was pretty cool.
And he said something at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when he got inducted that, I never did this for the money, but it was nice getting paid. And that's always kind of been my motto from that point. After I heard him say that, I'm like, you just put into words the exact how I feel when I go play.
Yeah.
And it's like, but the problem is sometimes you run into venues and stuff that will take advantage of that. They will take advantage of you just wanting to play and enjoying it, and then it backfires on you.
Yep.
But there's a line, and I've seen a lot of guys just hang it up because that line keeps expanding, it seems like.
Oh, yeah.
Makes it harder and harder on everybody. So that's neither here nor there, I guess. It's just, the thing is, you just play music and enjoy it. And,
Yep.
You know, like I'm pretty sure I ride every day. I make a point to try to ride every day, and that's.
Now, do you go
doing
in
it.
with a preconceived notion about writing? Do you go, well, today I'm going to write about?
Sometimes,
you
sometimes I'll do that. I very rarely write with anybody. My friend Mick Cott, he actually was down on the show with me one time. Me and him wrote a few songs together, and to be honest, we write them and then we never play them. We end up playing our stuff that we write individually, and that's really about it. Me and Dad's wrote some. Dad's the music guy, and he'll do a lick, and I'll be, oh man, that's a song. And then next thing you know, we'll turn it into something, and that's how it happens.
That's pretty cool.
And a lot of people say don't write a song off a lick, and I'm like, okay, but sometimes that's how a song starts. It's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree. It's like from a rock point of view. I mean, there's a lot of great songs that came off of just writing a lick, and just maybe a bass run or a bass line or just something turns into a song. It doesn't
Sweet
have
Child
to
of
be.
Mine from Guns N' Roses was just a practice lick that Slash did. Life in the Fast Lane, Joe Walsh, that was a practice lick he would do, and then he went in the rehearsal one day, and he just did that riff first time he played in front of the rest of them. And I think it was Glenn Fry turned around and goes, Did you write that? And he goes, yeah. And it became Life in the Fast Lane.
Yeah, and that's, I guess it's just one of those things, a lot of people think that you have to have the panel of 7 people sitting in a room to write a song, and you don't.
Right.
I don't, there's a great film on the Promised Land album recording sessions, or on Darkness on the Edge of Town recording sessions. And it's just Bruce and Stevie sitting at a piano, and they're just making up stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's awesome. It didn't make it on that album, but listen to The River. Most of those songs are ended up on the River album, and they cut like 4 songs for every one they recorded on that one. And it's, that to me is the magic of rock. Rock and roll has a magic to it. You guys were talking about music now having politics in it. It does, because sometimes music is the voice of not just the artist but their audience.
Right.
And I see you don't see that as much anymore, because now it's all about, unless there's something political about speakers going boom boom and pickup trucks with kegs in the back, which I don't.
Oh,
think
please don't
there
give the new
is.
country writers something to write about like that.
That's already writing about all over
man.
and over and over and over.
Wait a minute, I got a hit. A politician.
Pickup truck and beer and short shorts and cowboy boots. I'm like,
I wouldn't look good in any of that.
I grew up in a town with 1,200 people in it, and that just doesn't happen. It's like, what planet are you all on? Like a weird country land. Something?
Sing about stuff we can all relate to. Again, that you go back to I think the Jim Croce's. The John Denver's, James Taylor's of the world. You can write stuff that you could just the common folk can understand.
Right.
Mellencamp and go back to Johnny Cash and those guys. It's something that we could. If it didn't happen to you, it could have, or it happened to a friend of yours.
And for me too, it was like once I found out who the people I liked influences were, I discovered those people.
Yeah.
And then you look at who their influences were, and then you discover.
Don't that drive you crazy?
Backtracking, but the funny thing is the other day we were out riding around Pawn Shop, and we were listening to a CD that Dad had Runaway by Del Shannon.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's quite possibly one of the greatest songs ever written to me, and it's an amazing song, and it's like just a simple love song. Yeah. With a great lick that's timeless, and it'll never go away. And it's just a great song, which I would, everybody would love to write that song.
Oh yeah,
that one that's just going to be here. So I think that's why everybody hates Wagon Wheels. They didn't write it.
Whew.
And it was like,
I get that YouTube junkie thing going on where, like you say, you go, well, man, I remember so and so, and I really loved so and so's music.
Yeah.
But he was inspired by, whoever, and you go and you check him out. And then you go, well, who was he a fan of? Because it all goes back. He was like, John Lennon was really enthused with Elvis. And you go on back and you start going back to all these old gospel and blues days. And you're going, wow, that stuff I would have never listened to.
Yeah.
But that's where it came from. It all came from there. And I just get enthralled with that.
And like we were saying, people have always sung about what they know.
Right.
And that's the thing is, and you know, you go back and listen to Woody Guthrie. I mean,
oh, well,
my
man.
gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the root of where, you know, Dylan goes into Mellencamp and goes into Springsteen and goes in. And it all starts kind of with Woody. And Woody had to be listening to people around him. That's where it came from.
Yep.
So it's everywhere.
And Arlo didn't fall too far from the tree with that either, though.
No,
yeah.
no.
Jason, you keep looking at your clock there.
He's looking.
We're getting close to the end, so.
Okay.
But we'll announce next week's show.
Next week's show is?
We have Carissa Nicole.
Okay.
And Tabitha Turrington will be here as our guest.
So if you want to come down and see these young ladies in person, come on down to 111 or /113. It's just funny. It depends on what bill I pay is what address we are. We're a double unit. We're a double unit, so we're 111.
111 took us down that way.
Yeah. And over here is 113. So come down to 111 /113, South Spring Street, Manchester. Come on and see these artists. It's okay to come in and see Philip and Chris perform, see our next artists come in. They like that. We've had nights where we've had to pull extra chairs out and have people in here. So come on down and come on down and enjoy it. Brian, we got anything going on in your neck of the woods?
Well, you said Tabitha and Carissa next week?
Yes.
Okay, are they going to be on 111 or are they going to be on 113?
I might put them right on the border. Put them on 111 and a half, and you go, is that 112? No, because that's across the street.
I just don't know what to put in my GPS.
Yeah.
Don't use mine. You'll end up in like Manitoba.
Just go to 111, the highest sky rise in all of Manchester to the 13th floor. You'll find us. We're overlooking the sky. We can actually almost see Nashville from here. We're up so high.
Yes, we can.
On a sunny 72-degree day, we can see all the way to Nashville. We're so high up. Why don't we get one more song?
Don't forget to turn into Heat FM tomorrow for the vinyl show.
Yes, what time?
The vinyl show. It'll be 10 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock our time.
Yes.
It starts. Not sure what show they'll play, but it's always a lot of fun. You get to hear us cut up and laugh.
And you hear dead air when the one record player won't drop the needle. But that's all being solved this time.
Yes, it'll be all be solved this time.
I can't wait for the new turntable system coming in.
Oh, yeah, we're going to. It sounds beautiful.
Excellent.
I mean, it's the best sounding turntable I've ever had.
Excellent. It's a dual turntable, right?
Dual.
Is it two of them, right?
Well, we're still using Brian's and then my new one.
Oh, okay.
So only half of it will be great.
Oh, only half. The other half will be average. So,
no, Brian's turntable is good. His cartridge needs updated eventually, but
he's the one that drops right away, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like that one. Yes. That's that new automated Fandango one where they took something cool as a turntable where you just put the needle over the slot and just drop the needle. Well, this one here, it has to think about it. It calculates how many, and then it goes over and we're like, all right, now the next song is by Bryan Adams. And then you got 20 seconds of dead air while he's trying to drop. You're going, okay, really, honest to God, Bryan Adams is coming up here.
Well,
So-
it's a smart turntable. It's got a
It's
laser
not
runs
smart.
across the record, tells you how
And
many
that's the
tracks.
one time he's listening going, hey, they're playing. Never mind.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but check it out. The vinyl show is a lot of fun. We're doing this year, this month, I should say, with being the month of October with Halloween stuff. All Philip Wolf songs, all day, all night. All his gassy, scary songs. No, we're doing our themes to a lot of monster
Boris
stuff.
Pickett
And monster movies, horror stories. We also got trivia. We got sound bites from movies and stuff. So it'll be pretty cool. So if you want to come down dressed as a Dracula, please come on down. The store is decorated. I know it's hard to see all the way down to the ground floor up to the 13th floor, but we do have it all decorated Halloween-like. So come on down and enjoy yourself.
There's a picture of Mark in the front window.
Yep. I look a lot like Freddy Krueger.
You can't get much scarier than that.
Got to be the hair. But anyways, let's get Chris playing a song, and then we'll thank Chris from Heat FM Radio. We'll listen to the WFMC Jams Vinyl Show tomorrow. So, Chris, take it away. We'll end the show for you.
Well, I'll do a Halloween song. It's called Ghost Train. It's about a nightmare I had. I actually woke up and wrote the song right afterwards. This is everyone's favorite part right here. Hand coming up out of the ground. Born meets one and a lonesome sound. Down dog tracks, deserted for years. Hard for a man to hide from his fear. The dogwoods, they're spooky as hell, especially for a man hiding from himself. It's hard to see in the dark moonlight. The ghost train come, gonna take you tonight. Drinking doctor says, have you checked your soul? You won't need it where you're gonna go. Passengers turn as I take my seat, with cold black eyes staring straight through me. And a one-way ticket, it's all you need. Make one wrong choice and it'll save you a seat. Home down this track, so many may go. When a ghost train comes to take your soul. I don't know how I wound up here. My eyes are foggy, but my vision's clear. Door closed shut, there's no escape when the ghost train comes to seal your fate. Picking up speed, wheels start to turn. Heart starts to race as skin starts to burn. Looking out the window as life passes by. Here then gone in a blink of an eye. Good times, bad times, choices made. Going too fast, no you can't get away. Full speed now, no stops ahead. When the ghost train comes, you'll be dead. You wake up screaming in a cold sweat, shaking and trembling in your bed. Nightmares have scarred your mind, and the ghost train whistle disappears in the night. And the ghost train whistle disappears in the night. Happy Halloween.
Very nice. What a way to end a Halloween show. That's a commercial, isn't it? There's a commercial where there's a bunch of ghouls and death is on a train.
It might have been. I think I was watching Supernatural when I went to sleep.
Really?
So I was, yeah.
My favorite part of this commercial, I don't even know what the commercial is for, but this guy is talking about something, and he's deaf, and there's a guy sitting next to him. He goes, "Isn't that right, buddy?" And he reaches over and touches the guy, and the guy shuts his eyes and goes, "Oops, I probably shouldn't have touched him." And then it cuts off to whatever the title is of the commercial, and I laugh my butt off at that. Sorry. Just clever little stuff like that. So, well, Chris, it's been a pleasure having you on the
thanks for
station.
having me down.
Thanks for driving so far away to come for. It's kind of like getting on a roller coaster at a major amusement park. Yeah, you wait in line for 3 hours and it's over in like 45 seconds. But thank you for coming down and sharing your music with us.
Does that mean we're a fun ride?
Sure. Well, you came back.
Going there.
Both Philip and Chris have made it back, so they're glutton for punishment or something. So we want to thank both of these artists. You guys are tremendous singer-songwriters. And
if you ever get a chance to go out and see either one of them perform, do it. You won't regret it.
Yeah. I mean, they're both fantastic. Like again, we got Chris has got several albums out. We know that We've got several cuts from Philip Wolf out there from the Alabama cuts and Leroy Parnell. Make sure you go out there and you buy those. And help these artists out and go out and support them. They do it for the fun. They love it. It's therapeutic. But it sure does help when you buy merchandise or you buy them lunch or a Coke or something. So help these guys out and go out there and have fun. So, gentlemen, both of you guys, thank you for being on the show tonight. Rebecca, we didn't get you much into the show tonight. You've been over there doing the Midnight Madness thing on the phone, and we didn't get her much involved. We'll have to do a better job next week, get her involved. Jason, we appreciate it. He'll be a heartthrob.
The hunkiest.
The hunkiest of all the hunkies. He is it. Brian, the IT guru, live from our NASA station down there in Pulaski. And all the listeners out there, and Chris from HeatFMRadio.com, thank you very much. Thank you for playing our show, and also thank you for putting the syndicated show for the radio station on tomorrow for the vinyl show. We appreciate it. We got another one coming up here in the next couple, 2-3 weeks, and we'll have a real scary one for you. With that, I am Mark, the DJ Doctor, and with that, good night.